Howdy, howdy, fellas. We have got a World of Warships Legends match today in the Kronshtadt. Think I got all the letters in there. Yeah, Tier 8 Soviet supercruiser. Yeah, maligned on release. It's got a squishy nose and a weaker upper belt, but I like it all right. Yeah, we played two matches in it, I think, for the Winrose. This one, and then this one. This is how the previous match ended. See, thanks, Blue Team. Um, yeah, this was a 7-8 match, and we won our side. Took a little bit of time, and the rest of the team just disappeared. Uh, I only put this in here to show that the match that I'm about to show the full video of isn't like a total fluke on the performance of the ship. I understand that it's not the most loved ship in the game. I do have Lightful on it, and I think it's significantly better with Lightful just because it does have some troll salvos. The accuracy isn't the best, and Lightful, I run his unique skill, whatever, Lion's Roar. Just that much extra accuracy, I think, does help. Oh yeah, come on, yeah, almost 200k in that match, and that would have been like 3,400. So, if it had continued a little bit longer for like a win, it probably would have got more. So, just saying, it's not total fluke. But in this match, we are. This is a legendary tier match, right? Did this a few days ago. I have literally burned my brain out just going through ship after ship for the Wind Roses. Yeah, legendary tier. Yeah, Louisiana. Okay, I remember. I remember now. It's coming back to me. What was I saying? I burned my brain out. Too many Wind Roses and yada yada yada. Like, yeah, that's a lot. uh, is it even worth it? I don't know. But you can see. So, you know what? Hold on a second. Let me go. I'm gonna go get a clip of Kronstadt's armor scheme profile because I think that's extremely relevant for this ship. Be right back. All right. So here we are doing this live. This is always risky because I don't have a time limit to keep me sane and stable. So yeah, Kronstadt, Stalingrad, Big Brother. Yeah, it's the obvious comparison. Kronstadt is a tiny bit shorter, but they're both big. Let's go take a look at the armor. Yeah, it's like covered in whatever that is, 27 millimeter plating. And then, but it does. Hold on. This is the problem with doing it live. I'm not ready. It has this like casemate armor. It actually has a decently thick armor belt. I think that's that thwart ship is like the little bar in front that prevents stuff from going through your nose. That's quite stout. So yeah, sure. The nose and stern are quite squishy. But if you angle, you'll probably take some full pins in that little pancake on top, which, side note, I'm disappointed this Sevastopol has. But actually looking at the Kronstadt, man, Sevastopol has a very similar layout. Maybe that, I am digressing, and this is why I shouldn't do this live, but I just have such a sneaky suspicion the Sevastopol will turn out to be way better in the long run than it feels like it is. I don't know why. There's just something in me that's like, don't count that ship out. But anyway, you can see, so there's like some weak parts. If you, like right here, blue on blue, if you get hit with plunging fire in the nose, that's a real problem. But if you start to angle a little bit, it's harder. The gap is still there. Like you can definitely take some surprise citadels. But just be careful with this thing. Keep your angle, but it doesn't have the same like huge broadside, and it is. Let's see if I can get it to show it. Oh, this one. No. Oh yeah, yeah, it is this one. Armor belt. It's got like spaced armor, so you can actually get really troll salvos from things like heavy cruisers that don't have just amazing penetration, where it will pin. Yeah, torpedo bulkhead 90, where it will pin that like torpedo armor belt but then shatter against the, reasonable. That's on the front part. That's not the same. The torpedo. Yeah, so like that 90 millimeters. So, things like American 203 tier 7-8 legendary tier. It can be surprisingly difficult to get through the armor belt on the Kronshtadt, even though Soviet ships have a reputation for being easy to citadel when they're broadside. I find the Kronshtadt can be a little harder than it might appear at first blush, and then Stalingrad is like the obvious comparison. If we take a look at it, sure, it's well armored, but look at that citadel. That thing is huge. Um, yeah, and none of this, let's see, yeah, it's like it doesn't have that same spaced armor overlap, so sure, if you're well angled, Stalingrad is absolutely tankier. It can bounce Yamato shells. It's even got the icebreaker. Um, you know, I think Stalingrad is a better ship overall. It's legendary tier. It should be. The main battery, I think, is way better. I do like it better. Probably the biggest reason is the improved pin angles. It is more accurate. It's better kind of up and down the guns, but the biggest thing that I feel is the improved pin angles. Um, Kronshtadt just has more vanilla, like it doesn't have the insane penetration. And he has a normal fuse timer. Yeah, it does actually do a little bit more damage. 9. Yeah, I think that's higher than Stalingrad. Yeah, it's a little bit higher. But yeah, Stalingrad has improved arming threshold, better. So don't get me wrong, Kronstadt's no Stalingrad, but I think it has a lot of those soft stats that people don't have a tendency to look at. That it's actually a little bit better than it seems. It's not amazing. It's not my favorite ship. I don't play it all the time. 61% win rate. I played it a lot. It was one of the first tier ships that came out, so take that with a little bit of grain of salt. I think I'm better at it now. I think Lightful elevates it. It's not an amazing ship, but it's not as bad as maybe it has a reputation for. All right, that's enough rambling. Back to the game. All right, sorry. This has already gone on too long, but I am back. I was like, this just seems relevant because it is one of the current campaign ships, the Sevastopol. It does to me, to my, non-expert but intelligent enough eye. This is a Kronshtadt hull, right? Like it's got that same barbell citadel. It's got the torpedo armor plating along with like a reasonably, yeah, the 90 millimeters. Like this is a Kronshtadt hull with a little bit of up armoring on the deck. So you know what? One of the things that I've been worried about is that 30 millimeter plating on most of this little top pancake, but based on how the Kronshtadt plays, maybe I've been too worried about that might not be as big of a problem for the overmatch, because the Kronshtadt matchmaking spread with 27 millimeters is going to have a similar problem as a Sevastopol, where a lot of the stuff that you run into will overmatch it, but the Sevastopol might actually be in a better shape because there's still enough 16-inch guns, or like in the 420s, I think also bounce off 30 millimeters. Um, this might actually be a little bit tankier, and I find the Kronshtadt tanky enough in kind of a different way that, like, maybe I'll give this thing. I just can't make up my mind, you guys. I was like Rhode Island, and then the Sevastopol just kind of talks to me. It's like, I'm better than it seems. I'm better than it seems. Yeah, like, it's not as good as the Stalingrad. Yeah, yeah. I don't know, guys. Can't make up my mind. All right. Anyway, back to the match. Okay, sorry if that was too much of a derailment, but I think it's relevant because I feel like the armor profile of the Kronshtadt, and then the Sevastopol, which is the one of the current campaign ship offerings. So I just think that's relevant. If you're watching this, on time, then whatever. Because you can see, like that donked on that squishy nose. Oh, the gears got me. If I can turn. I'm firing HE. I'll lose a turret. I'm firing HE at these like max range battleships. Kronshtadt does not have amazing HE. It's not the shell type that I would lean on. But you're just not going to do a ton of damage to an angled battleship with the AP. With something like the Stalingrad that has great pin and the improved pin angles, you can get a surprising amount of damage done on especially something like the Louisiana with that flight deck. If you can slide them in to the flight deck, you can get some good hits. Here, the Aegir, I was just like trying to figure out, is he gonna go in, is he gonna go out? You know, that's a ballsy move, but these guys kind of went around that whole island and are just charging in 3 together. It looks like they're actually shooting at me. I was hoping I was safe over here. This actually happened to me a lot this week, that like stuff would shoot over, and I am broadside, so they're not wrong, but a lot of times you can get away from that, or get away with that when you're like 17 kilometers away and something else is 8. Honestly, this match from top to bottom, I think that Wisconsin that I was shooting at, I'm pretty sure it was him. He had a good game. I sent him, you know, the typical GG, and we chatted for a little bit, and we were both like, this game was such a train wreck. Just like top to bottom. We both were like, oh, like that's it, our team's gonna lose, and then, oh, that's it, our team's gonna win. Oh, that's it, we're gonna lose again. it just top to bottom, just nonsense. So, because we've got, you know, this Marceau in C is just sitting there. I think he had like a level 4 or something on. Like, come on, dude. I get it. It's great ships. It's the risk this time of year when they give out a bunch of stuff. It is what happens. But conversely, our Minagumo is just like sitting in between the caps. You know, like maybe trying to burn down battleships. Like, what is he doing, dude? Just get in B. He was just in B right now. Like, I don't know, whatever. But what am I trying to do? I am trying to set some fires on this Incomparable. Again, the Kronstadt's HE is not amazing. He's angled enough. I'm not really sure. Yeah, like, but you know what? Hey, 2 fires. I think I'll say this. I'll say it like this. In a lot of the Soviet ships, I think AP is like the obvious right choice. You know, 70% or more of the time. Like, the AP is just so good. That's really what you want to be leaning on. Sure, use the HE if you need to, but also it's the kind of thing that the AP is so much better that if you are in a position where you're having to use HE consistently, you're probably playing the ship incorrectly, if that makes sense. Like, you need to be looking for ways to utilize the AP rather than the HE. If you're using the HE a lot, you should be in a different ship. And of course, it's going to vary from match to match. Sometimes you don't have a choice. So this is like on average, you know, on the whole of your time playing the ship. I think the Kronshtadt is like a little different, just because it doesn't have those improved pin angles. It doesn't have insane penetration. The penetration's fine. Don't get me wrong. It's not quite as insane. The reload with the build I've got is quite good. I believe the reload is actually faster than Stalingrad. And so again, it's like it you know, I didn't do the math, but just looking at the reload and then the actual damage per shell on the AP, like, it's actually got better damage output than the Stalingrad. I think the Stalingrad's accuracy, pin, fuse timers, pin angles, it's going to have more DPM realistically, even against a stationary broadside target. But yeah, don't count the Kronshtadt out. And again, you know, look at these firing angles. Like, I kind of try to look at the little V off my ship, you know, my little icon down at the bottom, and if the V is to the left of the nose, like, you know, firing to the right, the V is to the left of the nose, like, yeah, that's pretty good firing angles. So again, like, yeah, that's some full pins, but it's like, whatever, I've got health. I don't know, I just think this ship is better than it has a reputation for. Oof, that hurt. My Citadel from the Alaska without whatever Piercer, whatever the AP skill is. Here I'm moving in because I see like this Louisiana is moving back in, and I'm nervous if he gets my broadside or like starts dropping on me, things like that, and those guys push through. Like, I'm gonna get pinched really fast here, so we need to take care of one of them. I'm hoping, you know, I see the Louisiana is low. I'm hoping that he's burned through damage control parties fighting that Minagumo, which isn't what I would choose the Minagumo to be doing right now, but it's also, I've said this before in a lot of my other videos, like, that's what he's doing, so that's the thing I have to deal with, you know, or work with. I can be frustrated with him not doing what I want him to do. Ow, that hurt. Yeah, you can still get Citadel. I can be frustrated with the Minagumo all I want, but it's not going to change what he's doing. So the best thing I can do is try to figure out how to, take advantage of what he's doing. Namely, if the Louisiana has used his damage control parties, or if he'll use it when I set a fire and the Minaguma sets a fire, like whatever, if we can kind of work together to get that thing burning, I'm going to set another fire. That's beneficial to the outcome of the match, even if it's not what I would prefer. Yeah, I don't even know what my pings are pinging right now. Oh, here we see, we had the two battleships south of me kind of sitting there. They were fighting together. Oh, it was a Preußen. He got burned down. This Yamato kind of just let it happen. I don't know, from my perspective, it looked like he backed off and just let the Preußen burn without really doing any tanking. But at this point, I'm happy he's here because these guys are just flat broadside from me. Yeah, I think I actually Citadel the Alaska there. I'm trying to hit the... I'm honestly not sure. This was very confusing for me, and it's not any clearer right now. I want the Incomparable gone. I think... Yeah, like, am I shooting... What? Who is hitting what? I want them both gone. I am taking a risk on the Yamato, but just looking at him, I think he's like too close to the island, distracted by the other ships, and he's kind of missed me before. So I'm just making the tactical choice of risk a broadside from a Yamato at max range if I'm moving to take out these two super close range ships that, yeah, and then he goes down. These two close range ships that are both an existential threat from me as well, and just hope the Yamato's got his hands full. So it works out. It could have easily gone the other way, and I don't make the video. But here, it flips back the other way. We got two battleships that are chasing a Stalingrad into nothing up there, and our Minagumo that like spent all his health just burning down the Louisiana, and I guess getting seen. Oh, the Wisconsin's ready for me. Oh, yeah, but we angle and like we take a chunk. It's fine. Slower turrets on the Kronshtadt than the Stalingrad. A bit of a pain sometimes. Ooh, but that reload boost. And the Minagumo just like, dude, just single. Ah, I hate the torp rush. I think he hits that one, and then all of those torps that he launched like on top of each other just miss. Our Stalingrad sinks one of the, or sorry, their Stalingrad sinks one of our ships. I'm just like, no, the Yamato's down, the thing is down. I actually wish I wasn't here right now because we'd actually be fine if I wasn't in the face of this Wisconsin, a space where the pin angles, I think, and the fuse, and Stalingrad, that's a better shot. And then, oh dear, I've made a mistake. I came to support the Minagumo, and now it's a problem. Missed the second. Oh, excuse me, missed the second turret there. That's a real drag. So I think up until this point, I've played the game pretty well, and here against this, with this push into this cap, I'm like, oh man, did I throw this game? Especially if our battleship's like, oh okay, the main at least takes that Stalingrad down. If he didn't sink that Stalingrad, ooh, like, does this go differently? But okay, he sunk the Stalingrad. That's fine. We got 3 ships, just the Wisconsin. I'm gonna finish this cap, and then, oh no, he burned down. Oh no. So again, it's just back and forth. Who's gonna win? We still have 2-1. We're gonna be up on caps. He has to sink both of us. This is a Worcester, right? He's got a 32mm bow. As long as nothing goes just horribly wrong, just the most unlucky, horrible thing ever, this is fine, right? Like, we've got this. Worcester versus 16-inch American battleship, easy win. Or at least, like, we stay alive. We've got 3 minutes left. I'm just gonna kind of, like, I don't know, will I get around to the side if the Worcester pushes in, and then, good lord, the Worcester turns broads? Like, what? So again, I panic, and I'm just like, oh no, because my plan was to go around the other side of this island right in front of me, Wooster comes in from the left, I come in from the side. The Wisconsin's gonna die. He has to pick between us. He can't, if the Wooster is any good at all, he can't sit broadside to him. And if I come this way, he can't sit broadside to me. So we just sink him in the match. And then I'm like, oh, dear gracious me. The Wooster turned broadside and then is literally just, like, coming to me. No, like, you could run away. You could sit behind the island. You could sit behind another island. But, like, the literal worst thing you could do is come over here to me. And then I'm doing the literal worst thing I could do. Like, go straight nose in. That's what I'm just like, no! What are we doing? What am I doing? What is he doing? I'm mad at everything right now. I should be against the island, honestly, is like, just get tight on the island, protect my nose. Like, yeah, here I realize I'm just like, I was so frustrated with what is happening. The Wooster comes in, like, literally to me. Not even just closing the angle, not just you know, like, annoyingly close. Like, he's about to ram me. I am trying to knock the guns on the Wisconsin. I actually couldn't see the shot. I don't know if I was too far forward or too far back. And then this one is definitely too far forward. I think I'm just overestimating the velocity on these guns. He's just sitting. Guys, like, oh my gosh. I legitimately thought this was going to be, like, turned to a loss there at the end. It was so stressful. But we finally pick it up. The Wooster gets the burn kill, but, like, whatever. 2014 in Kronshtadt, 3600 XP. Ermagerd. GG.